Welcome to the Homeschool Paradigm Podcast. This is Rachel, and I'm here with my mom.
Hello.
I bet you can't tell our voices apart very much.
Sometimes.
But today we're going to be doing a little introduction to each of us and kind of like what we talk about on the podcast and everything. So my mom is going to start with that. Angela, I was going to say Angela, but that's weird.
It weirds you out, doesn't it, to say Angela?
Yeah.
That's all right. Okay, so I have been married for 36 years, my husband Jeff, and we have four kids, and we homeschooled every single one of them for every single bit of school. None of them ever went to school. Well, our oldest, Wilson, went to preschool briefly.
Preschool.
He went to
Is that
preschool.
considered
It
school?
wasn't public school or anything. It was just super fun. And then I got pregnant with Rachel, got completely sick and couldn't take him anymore. But he had fun for the little time he did it. Rachel, troublemaker.
Yeah.
Um, let's see what else. I don't know.
You hate being asked to introduce yourself.
I hate
That's your
it
most dreaded
so
thing.
much. I'm like, there is nothing about me. I don't.
That's what I introduced when I introduced my mom. I'm like, she hates being asked to introduce herself.
This is all you need to know about her. And that's all you're going to find out about her because she never has any idea what to say.
You're
Did I
pretty
say we've been
interesting, though.
homeschooling? Did I say we homeschooled 23 years? I
Oh, I don't know. No,
don't know.
I forgot.
I
You probably did because you said we all graduated homeschool and all
probably
that.
did. Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
and yeah. So you guys, like you don't know how old you
Yeah.
are. And all of my kids have graduated and they're all out of the house. So they're
Yep.
31, almost 32 years old down to 22. So everybody's gone, left me here bored.
I feel like homeschool moms must be a little more bored when their kids leave than other moms.
Oh my goodness. Well, because kind of like, I don't know what to do. You'll see homeschool moms going,
Like
"Hey, what are you doing? What do you
empty
do? What
nest
do you
plus
do
you
when
like
you're all,
also lost your full-time job and all
yeah,
that.
you lost two or three full-time jobs?" Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Okay, Rachel, I don't know if there's
I
anything
go.
to say about me. Your turn.
Okay, we'll figure out more about you. Let's see. So I'm Rachel. I've been married for 5.5 months.
And it's very cute.
And my husband's Tarun. And I don't know what else to say about I don't have any kids or anything. But that's all
You
you
were
said in your
homeschooled.
intro.
You were
Now
homeschooled all the way
I
through.
was homeschooled. I was homeschooled all the way through high school. And then I was a nanny for a couple of years, and I'm an author. So I have four books that I published since high school. I published the first one, well, I guess it's been 8 years ago now,
Oh my
this month,
goodness. Yeah.
because it was June, right after I graduated, like that week, I
That
published my
was
first book.
Rachel's senior year English credit
Yeah,
because she
that was a
had a
fun,
really fun teacher.
yes. But yeah, that's what I do now. I'm an author, and I don't know. Should I say something random fun? I like making up recipes. I felt like I should say something
Oh
random.
my goodness, she's so good at making up recipes. We call it gourmet leftovers.
I
Rachel
like to
is
use leftovers.
amazing. And I'll get some new ingredients when she comes to my house in a couple of weeks. She's
I'm
gonna
excited about
figure
that.
out how to use to
Yeah,
make it better than I've been using. So
yeah. So we were gonna talk about kind of what, yeah, where homeschooling came from for you, and like what kind of like made you homeschool, and then how how your homeschool was over 23 years.
Okay, so first let me say that if there had been homeschooling, well, I mean, there were people doing it, but if we had known about homeschooling when I was growing up, I would have wanted to do that. I mean, school was fine. Like it was fine and I had friends and I did well, whatever, but I kind of never wanted to go. I would be
It
like,
sounded like you didn't want to go every day.
feel good. I didn't want to go every day for sure. I would any little not
That's-
feeling good, I would get my mom to let me stay home. Like, you know, I didn't lie or make up
Yeah.
stuff, but if I didn't feel good at all, I'd be like, I really don't feel. So I think I would have liked homeschooling.
Mhm.
But so couple, probably 3 years after we were married, my sister-in-law gave me this like a catalog for Abeka homeschool curriculum. And I know that's funny that Rachel's laughing because that didn't work. But I had never heard of homeschooling. And she was like, I think this sounds like something you would like. And so I looked at that catalog. I kept that catalog for several years, looking in it and thinking, I mean, we weren't even pregnant with our first child yet. And I was like, I am totally homeschooling. This is
I remember
amazing.
this now. I didn't remember this before you started saying it, but I
Oh, I'm
remember it
sorry.
now.
No, and I just like it's so funny because I mean they didn't homeschool at all or had no interest. She just heard about it and got this catalog sent to me, and and I just I thought about it and dreamed about it, and I thought homeschooling makes so much sense. Like to not send my little person people to school for
Hmm.
other people to raise almost. I mean,
Yeah.
not to pick on people who send their kids to school, but I thought it made a lot of sense for me.
Hmm.
Kind of like making your own bread, right?
Yeah, we like that.
Which we like and we've had to do anyway with allergies. But so I always knew from the second I heard of homeschooling that I was going to do that, and I did that. And the
And
reason
you
why
and you did it.
and I did.
I
And I
did it
did,
and
and
I'm
I'm
done.
done. And the reason why the Abeka catalog is so funny is because we tried so many different things, curriculum and workbooks and video
The
teachers.
homeschooling wasn't what you expected it when you were thinking about it from the Abeka catalog and all that, like
I'm
before
not
any of
sure what
us.
I expected. All I knew was I was going to keep my kids with me because they were going to be fun, and they are so fun. It's true. Like it was definitely fun. I loved it.
Hmm.
But it was stressful at the beginning a little bit. So, bef our Rachel's older brother is 5 years older than she is. So we were doing workbooks and textbooks and stuff, and he really, really liked that stuff. So that worked great for him. And it was easy for me to do it
Yeah,
kind of like I knew, right? Because I went to public school and you
right.
and stuff. But when Rachel came along, when it was time for Rachel to start school, that was not going to work at all.
I'm
And
not cooperative.
we did briefly talk about this in the first episode. We will talk about
Yeah.
it again and again, I'm sure, in different ways. But she didn't. It wasn't gonna. It wasn't gonna work. And Abeka was one of
Um,
the things we tried with a video teacher, and it was so awful for her. So
yeah, it
I'm
wasn't
sure there
my
are people. I'm
style.
sure there are people who love it, and it's great for them.
Oh
But
yeah,
yeah.
and that actually seems like a really good idea for like kids who that would work for.
Mhm.
Like that would be nice
Well, I
for
think one
people
of the
who it works
biggest
for.
things that I have figured out is and it's big for me. I mean, it's not necessarily about homeschooling exactly, but that when I was homeschooling and I would figure out what worked for you guys, I would be like, and even though it's ridiculous because Wilson didn't, the same thing didn't work for you that worked for him. And
Right.
and I would just be like, oh, you like it this way or whatever. But I used to think, oh, everyone should do it this way. Everyone should. It would be so much
Oh
better
yeah.
if everyone would do it this way or
Uh-huh.
whatever. Or, like that. There was a family when you guys were young, and we had used Calvert, which is textbooks, and they were good.
Mm,
I liked, I liked
yeah.
it too. I think I was a little textbooky to start with.
You know, I remember liking those for a minute.
I mean,
I
they
don't
were good. They were better than a
remember.
lot of.
Yeah, I don't remember what it was about them that I liked because I don't like textbooks. but there was something about those. I
Honestly
think
think,
I could
yeah,
get it done quickly. They didn't like mess with a bunch of
that's
extra
true.
frills in the instructions. So I was
Yeah,
like,
they just had those instruction books. Yeah.
yeah.
But we knew this family, the kids were younger than you guys, and the mom worked and the dad stayed home and did homeschooling. And he did Calvert. And one day he said, I just administer the program. And I was so sad for them. Do you remember this? I
I
was so
do, yeah.
sad for them. I was like, oh, so he's just administering the program. That's so sad. I just like felt so bad. Like I wanted them to, I don't know what I, they were having a ball. They were
Hmm.
they were loving it. And it was, they were getting it all done and doing so many fun things with their dad besides, that and having fun with the curriculum too. And
Yeah.
I think I realized, yeah, I want to do it this way. And I mean, I'm going to say a lot of things on this podcast that I think are fantastic, but I know
Right.
wouldn't work for everybody, or things that I didn't like that do work for a lot of people. And I think,
Hmm.
I mean, not that I was like judgmental. I just used to feel so sad for people who did it in a way that looked like it would make me sad.
You
And
just think you found like the crystal ball of,
but there isn't one. There isn't one. So I think that that was kind of big for me when I was like, oh, you know, other people can really do great with there are so many different ways
hmm.
to do it. So I like, I
Yeah.
like realizing that, it's kind of freeing. Like it wasn't, like I said,
Hmm.
I wasn't judging, but it's kind of more freeing to not be sad for other people.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's freeing for me too. Like I got my, senior English credit by like writing a book. Like you really started going with like what was gonna work for like each of us individually,
Yeah. Yeah.
which I feel like when I was younger, like you were searching for what would work for me, but like I could tell, like thinking back, that you felt more like if this one compartment doesn't work, then I'm gonna move on to the next compartment and
Mm.
like try that drastic way instead of
Right.
just like piecing things together that actually do work for me.
Yeah. Well, and I'll tell you what, too, when you change everything you're doing, that's stressful. That's stressful for the
That's true.
mom,
I
and
remember
it's
doing that.
probably scary for the kids too, actually, because kids really like to have some idea. I remember
I
Wilson
know.
saying to me one time, I don't remember how old he was, pretty young, maybe
Oh,
when
I know
you're
this.
all
I
being
know
born.
this.
I just kind of walk around afraid you're going to tell me to do school. Like he didn't know what to expect, I mean, but
I
it's
had those
later he
phases
was
too.
like had the plan and just handed it to him or whatever, like in high school, and he liked that. He knew what to expect.
Yeah.
He could decide when to get it done.
Oh, I love yeah, high school's got to be the best for homeschool, honestly. Like I
Oh,
think that I thought that when I was in high school and still I'm
so
like
good. The
homeschool's gonna be fun.
conversations are so interesting, and I
Yeah.
just actually am kind of sad for people who send their kids when people like homeschool all the way
Yes.
up to high school and then they go, and I'm like, but I'm sad
You're
for them for a
missing
different
out.
reason. I'm like, you're just missing it because this
I
is
know.
so fun. Yeah, teenagers
Yeah.
are the best.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I guess I try not to be sad for anyone anymore. If people need to send their kids to school when they get to high school,
That can be fun too.
that can be fun, and it can be exactly
Yeah.
what kids need. Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. So I think Rachel, you're the one though that changed my, you know, whole
That's because I was like the
perspective.
wrench thrown at the car window. Like literally.
Seriously. I
I
know.
think it's just the trouble child that like forces you to change.
Makes you figure it out. Yeah.
I,
Yeah.
I feel like I was
Wilson and I
definitely
were
the
just
trouble child.
perfectly happy going along because I was textbooky and
Yeah.
he was textbooky, and
Okay.
I remember sitting in the kitchen with my mom showing her these little, I don't know if it was kindergarten or first grade, textbooks from McGraw-Hill. I ordered them from the Real Textbook Company for you.
Uh-huh.
And I'm sorry, I don't, they just don't have much content. You know what I mean? And they wouldn't. A
Yeah.
textbook for a
Yeah.
kindergartner or a first
Right.
grader, it was probably first grade.
Yeah.
You don't need a textbook for that amount of content. But I just
Yes.
remember being so
Yeah.
excited, and she was excited, because I thought, this is, and they look fun. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? They look great.
And I was already
You
a
do a
problem
good job
child
on them. I'm not saying, that
by
you don't
then.
do a good. Yeah, I was already like, I got to get myself out of this thing. I've got to
Yeah. So
remove
I'm like,
myself
you were
from
already
Rachel's
looking.
homeschool.
Oh my gosh.
Poor Rachel. I'm glad that didn't last long though. Because when I put myself fully in instead of removing myself, that's when everything changed like a miracle.
Yeah. I just needed more attention.
You needed more You needed more something. Well,
I
freedom.
don't
You
know.
needed more
There
freedom.
was just a lot of me at the moment. And
That's true. That's true. But that's
so you
fun.
got to homeschool like a lot extra. Like it was more than just like the four children. It was like an extra one.
Rachel and her extra.
Oh my.
No, it was good. It was good. But you're the one that forced us to change that. And then Sarah, who's right after you, she kind of liked textbooks too for a little
He's
while.
textbooky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If she's
And then Sam is kind of more like me, a
Mhm.
little toned down, but
Yeah.
for sure more
Yeah.
like me.
Well, he's kind of like, like in college now. If he's got to read a textbook, he just blasts through it, answers the
Right.
questions, and goes on.
Yeah.
But he is interested. Like I was saying the other day, he's super good at being interested in
Hmm.
everything, just
Yeah.
like dad
He's
is.
got a fun mind.
Super good.
That's
Yeah.
what I always think. He's got a fun mind.
He's so fun. Yeah, it is more fun to be interested in everything, some aspect of it. You can
Hmm.
also be interested. That's
It's
going to
like
be
dad.
something I chant on this podcast too. You can learn
Hmm.
from everything. You can be interested in everything in some way. Yeah,
Yeah.
he and dad are the best at that.
Hmm.
I'm not
They
always
are.
so much like that.
Most people aren't as much like that as
I
them.
think Tarun is like that too, your cute husband.
That's true.
I would say he's
Yeah.
like that.
He is quite a bit like that.
Yeah. We'll have to have him on sometime, Rachel.
Yeah, he wants to come
Oh, we're
on.
having everybody on eventually. I don't know if Sam will want to. He doesn't always love that, but
Yeah.
maybe I'll get him to a little bit.
Well, we plan, you know this, but everyone else, we planned to homeschool, and he already like before we even got married, like when we already knew like we would homeschool our kids when we had them, uh he was like, I can do this in a homeschool class. We can teach this in a homeschool class.
Yeah. Oh, he's so
He's for
cute. Well,
sure gonna
he's an
teach the
engineer,
math.
so he's teaching the math.
I
She
know
doesn't
he's
have
teaching the
to.
math.
Yeah, it was going to be me, but she's got an engineer now,
That
so he can.
that's handy
That is
because
handy.
math, I still fight against it like I fought against everything as a kindergarten.
Yep. Sam too. Sam's not. He keeps putting off
Yeah,
math class. He's probably
I noticed.
he's gonna have to.
Yeah, I know. But yeah, on the podcast
That's
we'll
us.
have more fun talks and
Yeah.
talk about,
And more fun people.
yeah, address how to unstress. All I can think of is unstress your homeschool, de-stress it, poof the stress. I don't know what to call that.
Well, our tagline
Like,
is toss the stress out of your homeschool. Tossing
oh,
stress out of your homeschool. Yeah.
well,
Well,
I know we know how to end. It's because we never had conversations with each other. We
right.
just like,
We've been having a conversation since you were born, right?
so let's stop conversing for a minute. And thank you for listening.
Thanks for listening.